Good morning, Big Brother fans. It is Tuesday, February 5th. And last night we had another live eviction. Kato was voted out. That's who most of us thought was going to get voted out between Tom and Kato. Apparently Tom and Kato didn't necessarily expect it, or at least Tom didn't. And so he was kind of surprised. So he's still in the house. Kato went out, and Kato's a good interview. He did good with Julie. He did definitely. I have to admit, I was thinking he was going to be a total waste of space in some ways on the show, and I was wrong. He definitely. I'm judging somebody from 30 years ago, and he may have been fine 30 years ago too, but you have to admit, the TV press he got 30 years ago wasn't too kind, so I guess we can blame that on the editing. So Kato is out and about, and one of somebody, I don't know Jonathan off the top of my head, but his name is Jonathan on Twitter, and he follows lots of people. He doesn't just follow me, but he's the one who apparently picked up Kato, because he tweeted a picture of him and Kato was taking him out for a beer, because Kato had said his girlfriend wouldn't be home till late. I don't know the details, but it's just kind of amusing. He says, "Yeah, my girlfriend will be out late, so I need someone to pick me up for a beer." I guess this Jonathan was the person who he was kind of referencing, and indeed Jonathan picked him up. So it's kind of amusing. Just kind of a funny little story. So Kato's out. Tom is still in the house. The feeds came back after the show. I went to bed. The feeds were still on. They did a very late night at a household competition. I don't know if there was a Big Brother. I don't think there was a Big Brother After Dark, which is weird because they announced there wouldn't be a Big Brother After Dark, and yet, well, maybe it started close to that time, because Big Brother After Dark was supposed to start at 1 a.m. last night, and the feeds were still live at 1 a.m., but they didn't do a Big Brother After Dark, I guess. I'm guessing. I'm not even sure. I didn't turn on Pop TV. I was just going on the tweets from Orwell. But either way, it doesn't really matter. Point is, they did do the head of house competition very late last night. During the downtime between the show and the head of household competition, Tom talked about his paranoia and snooping to try to figure out who had the power, and claimed that it was all done for TV. I don't think it was all done for TV. I think Tom was a little bit into it and thought, with this I can figure this out because I'm the one in charge. No, it doesn't work that way. And so I think Tom was a little bit power drunk, as Julie said, and just, I think that was probably the case. But he's trying to mend fences and make up for it, knowing at this point last night that it's very likely that he's going to be up on the block again as soon as somebody else wins the head of household. So the feeds did eventually go down for a couple hours, 2.5 hours maybe, I think. When they came back, we found out it was the dice count. Yes, I'm teasing on this. Most of you know who won head of household, but we found out it was the dice competition, where they get inside a big dice and they move it around to come up with the right combination. Like they say, you need to make it turn into a 6, and they have to in the fewest number of moves. I don't know if it's based on the number of moves or just based on time, but they have to figure out how to step it around and end up back at the same spot, or end up at this X, land on X with your number showing or your number down, whichever it is. And either the fewest number of moves or time, whatever it is. And it was a cool competition. We've seen it maybe twice, I think, ever. And I know that I remember this one specifically because this is back in the days when Heath was first making his presence known on the Twitterverse. And I just recall him tweeting about how this is a competition that this was a game that he created. It was kind of one like this is one that of all the comps that we've seen, it seemed to me like this is one that Heath was like, I created this competition, I came up with this idea, or something to that effect. And it was like, oh, very cool. Whereas I don't know if he came up with the haunted house idea himself or if they, tossed it around, but the dice one was kind of like Heath's personal baby. And so I was kind of like, oh, this is really cool. And then we only saw it once, maybe twice in the entire time that Big Brother's been on. So to see it again was kind of cool. So Heath is the head of house, or Heath created this particular competition. They did this competition, and Tom won head of household. So Tom is your new head of household. Now, what's a bit amusing about this is that in some ways it could be. There's arguments to be had both ways. So with Tom head of household, the question is, will Lolo, Ricky, and Natalie start to go at each other a little bit? Because I would assume that one of them is now going. Tom should nominate two of them. And if any one of them comes down with the head of house... Oh, wait a minute. No, well, it's 4 votes to evict, and Tom's the tiebreaker. Yeah, you know what? It's not a given. It is not a given. Because if he nominates Lolo and Natalie as an example, and Ricky wins head of household, or wins power veto, Ricky takes off one of them, he can't go back up. He pulls them? No. Oh, depending on what Tamar would do. Okay, there you go. Depending on what how's Tamar vote would go. No. Ricky could put up Tamar. Sorry. So no, it still should work out. Okay, so let's just go with the numbers. Let's say that Lolo and Natalie are on the block. Ricky wins power veto. He saves either Lolo or Natalie, and then Tom has to put somebody up. I don't think Tom will put up Candy or Dina, so he'll probably put up Tamar and say, Tamar, you nominated me. But because Tom has the tiebreaker, I would anticipate that Candy and Dina would vote the way that Tom wanted, and Tom could break it, and Tom could break the tie if he needed. So he could send home the person that Ricky didn't save. All right. That's to say that things don't get mixed up. I mean, if Tamar ends up ticked off at Tom for some reason, and then he's got Tom or Tamar, Natalie, Ricky, and Lolo all on one side, and Tom, Candy, and Dina on the other side, it's possible that they could, get out who they wanted of the two choices. But I don't think that Tamar at this point sees herself as super strongly aligned with Ricky, Tamar, Lolo, because I think he sees them as a more solid trio. Sees herself as the fourth wheel. She said it as much last night on the show during the diary room sessions. She said, I'm pretty much the fourth person on this 4-person alliance. Okay. So it probably is going to be Tom, Ricky, or Lolo leaving this week. Pretty sure. And I say this week, and they're saying this week, we mean next. Because on Friday there will be a double eviction. And I'll talk about that more later, but briefly, and maybe I mentioned this yesterday or the day before, that the show on Friday I anticipate being a regular hour, the first hour, the standard power veto show where it starts with the nominations having been revealed. They draw for power veto, they play for power veto, excuse me, and the show ends with the power veto ceremony, and then the hour ends with the power veto ceremony. And then the second hour will start off, and they'll do the eviction very quickly. Julie will announce it's a double eviction show, and they'll get on with the second hour. So that's, to the best of my memory, that's how it worked last year. That's how it has worked in the past when they've done a double eviction show on a 2-hour show, is that they've done a regular first hour, And it's been like, okay, and then they do just a rapid fire second hour. Now, they could change it up and not do it that way, but that's my guess. I'll probably say this, today's Tuesday. I'll probably say this Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday morning as well, because, each time I'll probably say, and I don't remember if I said this or not. So pardon me to those of you that I repeat myself a lot. Between tweeting, periscoping, and doing these, I do tend to repeat myself many times. I did have someone today, I tweeted out everything I thought was going to happen this week for Tom, during Tom's, reign as head of household, and I ended with, an eviction in the first hour of Friday's show. That's where I ended my tweet, and someone tweeted at me, there's 2 evictions on Friday. It's like, I don't know, what do I say? Yes. I just said, yep. It's like, yeah, I know. I was doing this, my hashtag BBUS2 in 280 hashtag tweets are usually self-contained for the most part. They're usually one period of time. They're usually during one person's head of household. I don't say, and then a double eviction. Although I very well could do it the next time, but I know, and I do need corrected. I need corrected often, so it's fine. I just kind of smiled when someone told me that. I was like, yeah, I know it's a double on Friday. I said first hour, eviction in the first hour, or at the beginning of the second hour, because the second hour is going to be double. But all right, obsessing much? No, not obsessing at all. Not obsessing at all. Weather. Hey, we're driving, and yesterday it was like in the 40s, or did it get up to the 50s? It probably did. I don't know if it was when I was driving, but we're back down to 32 today. 32 degrees. No, so all the snow, or 99% of the snow, has now melted or been washed away. I mean, there's still a few places where it's piled up, and so there's still a couple of mounds of dirty snow. But for the most part, it's gone, and now we're going to have, I think, another batch of like freezing rain or something tonight. So got that going for us. So what I already did tweet today. This is my guess on how the rest of the week is going to unfold. I'm expecting nominations today. I'm expecting power veto tomorrow, and I'm expecting the power veto on Thursday. Should be fairly straightforward. If you think of this as a Thursday night, or if you think of last night as a Thursday night on a regular season, then Friday would be nominations, Saturday power vetoes, Sunday power veto. Well, Monday power veto meeting, but they're going to get it ahead of time so they can get the show on Friday and show the show on Friday, and then there'll be a double eviction. And I would guess Tom's very likely to walk out of the house next. Although Tom could just simply win head of household, and it's possible that Dina or Candy could win head of household. It's also possible that Tamar could win it and not put up Tom. So I shouldn't say that Tom is a lock to go out next, although he may want to go out next. He may go like, you know what? And he has said it. He said it's not necessarily good to make it all the way to the end. It's good to get out a little bit early, and Friday is the last chance to get out early. Everybody that's in the house after Friday will be in until the finale night. So, it's not going to be like super exciting on the feeds. I mean, we're down to the nitty gritty here, and there's not much that can happen. It's not like some oh my gosh moments are going to happen, but it will be interesting to see if Natalie and Lolo and Ricky start to, go after each other a little bit, get a little bit snippy, get a little bit, short, get a little bit, talking game with the others, working on votes, all kinds of stuff. It'll be interesting to see if they're as buddy as they have been, or hanging out together, just them as much as they have been. We'll have to see. And yes, to those that were, if Ricky or Natalie or Lola had a household, I just don't know if it would have. I think it would have been more straightforward. I think that they would have been targeting Tom, and I don't think there would have been as much drama. Although who knows, Tamar may have brought some drama and made things, kind of like getting paranoid or something. I'm just not sure. I just don't think it would have been the case. But I think it's going to be more interesting with Tom as head of household during this week than if it had been one of those, Tom or Natalie, Lolo, or Tamar, or not Natalie, Lolo, or Ricky. But I could be wrong. And we'll never know. Because we're not going to have a long head of household right now. This is the last long head of household because the double on Friday will do another head of household. Pardon me. Let me get a drink here. We have one more head of household until the finale. You know, it'll be a head of household reign during the double eviction, and then they'll go through the process. I don't even remember now how they did it for the final five. I'll have to look up last year's. Wikipedia is a good resource. The Wikipedia for Celebrity Big Brother 1 has a good recap of everything that went on, so it'll tell you how to expect the final five to play out. But it means 3 evictions on Wednesday's show, a week from tomorrow, because the finale is a week from tomorrow. All right, guys, I think that's about it. I have talked more than I probably should have with my rambling and talking to myself and such, but hope I've given you an idea of what's going on. Oh, no! Wait, hang on. We're going to pause for 1 second here. I need to look something up to do some house cleaning, so right back in just a second. So, here, I'm back. You didn't even know I was gone, did you? I've been saying this for weeks now. I wanted to thank all my patrons. So those of you that are listening to this whole mess that I call a CarCast for the first time this Big Brother, Celebrity Big Brother season, I actually have people who are supporting me in doing this in my Periscopes via Patreon. And you are welcome to, of course, but they've been doing it for quite a while. There's a couple that are new, but I mentioned that I will give people shout-outs when they do this, and I haven't done any shout-outs for this month or January, and I need to. And so I'm just going to give... I went back, and I think everybody that has contributed either December or January to my Patreon fund, I wanted to give you a shout-out. And so let me pull this up. Okay, I think this should be recording. Hopefully it didn't pause. I don't think it did. So this is just everybody. Most people, first name. Couple of people, it's your Twitter handle. So you know who you are. And I just wanted to thank every one of you. I did do second initials on some just because I didn't do full names. There will be no full names on here other than one, but it's a fake name. So Becky, Blake C., I think it's Brina B., Chatty, Corey S., Emily H., Eric M., Ishara, Evan, Jacqueline, Kristen, Lisa R., Ms. Don Draper, there's your full name, Pam G., Sebastian H., and I'm paused at a stop sign so I can turn, so I'm looking both ways and not glancing down. Did I say Sebastian H? I think I did. St. Clinton, Susie G., Tara, and Teresa W. All those people have contributed via Patreon to my my Patreon account, which is BBGOSSIP. It's my CarCast. It's not our regular Big Brother Gossip Show. That's a different Patreon account, which we appreciate those people too. But I think we have like 125 people, and I'm not reading those lists. I am one of my own supporters, though, for that. Anyways, thank each and every one of you for supporting me. It's just cool as can be. And as I've said before, every once in a while I pointed out to my wife that, oh, look, here's a little bit of thank you money from my patrons, the people that like me doing this, and it takes the edge off ever so slightly. I probably use it as an excuse more often than not. It's like, oh, yeah, you're a little bit grumpy. Hey, by the way. No, I don't do it that much. So thank each and every one of you. I appreciate it. And then if you want to, you can go to that page. You can do a one-time contribution. If you sign up to contribute, you don't get billed until the end of the month. So anybody who hasn't, or even if you signed up today to be a patron, your account won't be charged until like March 2nd or March 1st, and so bear that in mind. And my Patreon account is once a month. It is not based on the number of these that I do, whereas our Big Brother Gossip one is based on, it's a per podcast kind of a reward system. So it's slightly different. I just was like a monthly, give what you want kind of a thing. You can do any amount. You can do once, sign up and once you're charged, then you can unsign up, or, however you want to do it, if you want to do it. Nobody has to. It's not expected. It is appreciated, but by all means, no expectations. The same with our Big Brother Gossip show. It's free. We don't charge people for it, but we do have people that want to support us. And frankly, we're not going to get a sponsor for our Big Brother Gossip show. It just ain't going to happen. I don't think we're just not we're not friendly enough in some ways to get a sponsor. So, anyways. But speaking, one last thing of sponsorship. So I tagged on these ads at the end of every one of these. You'll get a little ad, and nobody yet has said those really annoy me. Take those off. Of course, there are people that are probably annoyed that won't ever bother telling me. They just won't listen anymore. But there is that. I did that on a whim. I've explained it before. I won't go into detail again, just to see what it would do. Right now, as of yesterday, I think when I looked, since December, I now have like $25. So it's actually a tiny, substantial amount that those ads have generated since December. I think I can cash out at any amount over $10. I just haven't bothered to fill out my tax information to get the money. So, but I thought I keep saying I would share with you guys. I don't know if I'm going to keep doing it or not. I don't know. I'm just not sure. I'm on the one hand, I don't know how annoying it is because I'm not listening to myself. I don't hear those ads at the end. I don't think about them, and sometimes I forget that they're there. And so, it just depends on how you listen to it too. When I listen to podcasts, once I get to an ad section, I hit 30 seconds, fast forward 30 seconds, and I just buzz through them, and I don't mind that they're there because I don't pay attention to them. But I'm guessing there's some other people that are like, oh my God, here's that stupid ad about whatever I don't even know what they put on these things. I've listened to it once, I think, to hear the ads. So I am decided if I'm going to do it this summer during regular Big Brother, if I'm going to pull those off. I'm undecided. But thanks again, everybody, for listening. And you guys have a good Tuesday, and we'll talk to you later. I have no idea who's going up between Tom, Natalie, and Ricky. None whatsoever. We'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.